Today we're making incredibly flavorful mushroom pasta with creamy white sauce that doesn't include heavy cream. This pasta is the very definition of comfort food, and I think you're gonna absolutely love it. If you love creamy pasta and you love mushrooms, you have to try this recipe. Traditionally, this type of dish is made with lots of heavy cream that can sometimes feel too rich and leave us feeling really heavy. This recipe bypasses this problem. It's still really lush and indulgent, but it will not be too much for your stomach to handle. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the mushrooms. I have a few different kinds of mushrooms here: king trumpet, shitake, and chanterelle mushrooms. You can use any kind of mushroom you like. I do find that using a variety of mushrooms gives the dish a more robust flavor. They all have their unique taste and texture, so I find it to be a good combination. One type of mushroom I would not recommend for this recipe is white button mushrooms. I think that the flavor is just too mild for this recipe. I'm going to roughly chop the mushrooms. You don't need to try too hard to make them all look uniform. I think it's part of the fun of this dish, being able to see all different mushroom shapes. A quick note on shiitake mushrooms: only use the caps, as the stems are too woody and tough to eat. Don't throw these out though. You can just put them in a container and freeze them for when you want to make mushroom stock or mushroom soup. Mushrooms are ready, so I'm going to get the rest of the ingredients prepared and out of the way. Thinly slice a few medium shallots. You can use onions as well, but shallots have more delicate, sweet flavor. Next, thinly slice a few sprigs of fresh thyme and 4 garlic cloves. Heat olive oil in heavy bottom skillet over medium-high heat. Add the mushrooms and cook them until they're golden brown for about 10 minutes or so. Don't salt them just yet, as it will draw out the moisture from the mushrooms. Please try to resist the urge to move them around too much. You just want to leave them alone for a few minutes at least before tossing them. Allow the steam to cook off and those amazing brown bits to develop that are just packed full of flavor. While the mushrooms are cooking, I'm going to put on the stove a pot of water for our pasta and add a generous amount of salt. The mushrooms are starting to look nice and golden, so I'm gonna turn the heat to medium-low and add our shallots, thyme, garlic, salt and pepper. Toss it quite frequently and let it cook for a few minutes. I really wish you could smell it right now. The combination of shallots, garlic and thyme is absolutely out of this world. The water is now at a rolling boil, so it's time to add the pasta. I'm using quinoa fusilli today, but feel free to use whatever pasta you have. I'm going to cook it for about 7 minutes instead of the recommended 9 minutes. I want it to be al dente and still a little bit chewy, as it will finish cooking with the sauce at the end. To make this mushroom sauce incredibly creamy, I'm using 1 cup of cashew cream. This is the homemade version that calls for 1 cup of cashews to 2 cups of water. I've made an in-depth video of my favorite creamers, so if you're interested in checking it out, I leave the link in the description box below. I'm also adding 1 tablespoon of gluten-free tamari into the sauce. You can also substitute with soy sauce, but just know that soy sauce is going to be a little bit more salty. The tamari is just going to give more depth and richness to the dish and will also cut through the mild sweetness of the cashew cream. Next, add freshly grated Parmesan Reggiano and add a little bit of the pasta cooking water to thin out the sauce a little bit. And now it's time to assess the level of creaminess. If you wish the sauce to be a little bit more liquidy, add more pasta water, or if you want it to be a little bit thicker, you can add additional Parmesan cheese and cook for a little bit longer. Okay, time to strain the pasta and add it into the creamy mushroom sauce. Mix to incorporate the pasta and just let it cook for another few minutes. Now it's time to serve it up. Garnish with optional fresh parsley and Parmesan cheese. And voila, it's ready to be devoured. A truly wonderful creamy pasta to add to your arsenal. All the flavors came together so beautifully. The mushrooms with the lush cashew cream, garlic, thyme, and a little kick of tamari. This dish is so beautiful. If you guys end up making this recipe, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to know how it turned out for you. If you guys got value out of this video, I invite you to like it. And if you're brand new here, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.